Yo, so we are assuming that Michael Jackson betrayed Paul McCartney when he bought Paul McCartney, well, the Beatles music catalog, the publishing company that owned the music catalog for the Beatles. But so, Xevi, like, first of all, I think that your approach is perfect. Like, you came at it from both angles, Michael Jackson's side, Paul McCartney's side. Here's what I'll say. First off, look at it from Michael Jackson's side point of view. Michael Jackson was at a point in his career where he was on the top of the world, and being the astute businessman that he was studying the business of publishing and music copyright law, and figured, okay, this is an opportunity for me to not be a washed out has been in a few decades, maybe or less, as a recording artist, and really take advantage of this opportunity that his friend or his acquaintance, Paul McCartney, his recording acquaintance, Paul McCartney, did not see the value of, and also didn't have the amount of money needed to acquire that leverage. And so, if that's where you're at in your career, you're like, okay, in order for me to be more generous, I need more money, right? Because Michael Jackson was this prolifically generous person. Then the question is, was he really aiming to betray Paul McCartney? Well, there's evidence in your story that that wasn't the case, because his team, Michael Jackson's team, was sent out to confirm with Paul's team whether or not they're going to buy the publishing company. And when Paul McCartney's team basically said, hey, no, we can't afford it, that was the green light for Michael Jackson. I don't think that Michael Jackson would have done that if Paul McCartney's team said, yeah, we're going to buy it, right? Like, at all costs. But Michael Jackson, just like at this point, it's, basically saying that Paul McCartney got butthurt for missing out on his opportunity to get his own property back. It's like, if I had a house and I sold the house to some investor for like a couple million, thinking at the time that a couple million to me was a lot of money, because it probably was. And then a few years later, I'm saying, oh my God, my property is making hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And then I get the opportunity to buy that property, but it's not going to be for the couple million that I sold it for. It's got to be for several hundreds of millions of dollars. And I don't have the money, but then my closest friend, or like even not even a close friend, like an acquaintance who just gives me the decency of saying, hey, David, do you want to buy this property, or can you afford it, or whatever? And I say, yeah, no, I want to, but I can't afford it. He goes and buys it. That's on me. Like, it's my fault that I didn't make the money. It's my fault that nobody owes anybody anything. So yeah, I mean, Paul McCartney can be butthurt all he wants, but at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. Unfortunately, we got to look out for number one. You can be generous in that. You can be a little bit more tactful in that. But I don't think Michael Jackson did anything wrong. He said, hey, man, it's just business. He wasn't being mean. He just didn't give him all the information. He was like, look, I'm not going to, because at that point, it would be more insulting than anything. So that's my 2 cents.